can you see how dented it is along here? Okay, so you might be thinking like, okay, how can I get this bag? And I do or I don't want vintage, but how can I get it for less? Is costume jewellery worth you buying? Yes and no. These do look very elegant, particularly in the summer when you just want like a more casual look. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. I'm guessing you are here because you're a Chanel fan. If you are on a lower budget, if you don't want to spend this big money on what is not the best quality in the world, but if no doubt you still love the brand and you still want to own some items from it and you want to know what's worth me buying and what should I skip, I'm going to go through all of it in this video. I'm going to give you like a little bit of history on the classic flap, because you are buying a piece of history when you buy one of these bags. Even so, I still think their new price tags are not what the bag is worth, but we're going to get through, we're going to talk about that. But I'm also going to talk about ready to wear from Chanel. Is it worth it? I'm going to talk about footwear from Chanel. I've got some classic Chanel ballet pumps here. I've got a pair of trainers and I have costume jewellery, and we're going to go through all of it. What's worth it, what you can skip, what you don't need, and fundamentally how you can buy any of these pieces, but particularly handbags, for like a 40 to 50% discount. Okay, so the Chanel classic flap, rolling back a little bit, you've got the 255 reissue. Now that bag, I want to say it's everyone knows what it is, but it doesn't have the double C's on the front. The double C's on the front were added by Karl Lagerfeld in the early 80s. The 255 is called that because it was released February 1955, and the bag has been designed to look like a satchel carried by a soldier. And in fact, some of you might be familiar, if you open these bags on the inside, they are lined in a maroon colour, like a maroon red. That is said to be the colour of Gabrielle Chanel's school uniform. So there's a lot that's kind of gone into this, and also things such as on the inside of the bags, you have a double flap. I don't like the double flap. I prefer it without, but the classic flap comes with a double flap. But you have compartments in here. So you have a zip section along here. This is said to be where Chanel, Gabrielle Chanel kept her love letters, in this little secret compartment here. But on the inside, it's lovely. You've got a section here where you can put a lipstick. You've got little sections either side where you can keep cards or paperwork. Then you've got this section and obviously the main one in the middle, and then behind the flap there is another section back here. Of course, on the reverse you have got your rear pocket as well. Now in the 80s, logos being a bit flash, designer goods, it was a statement. It showed you were doing well, and I'm guessing maybe that was one of the reasons why Karl took the 255 and gave it that 80s twist. Now I'm going to show you two bags. One is from 1989, one is from 1994. This is my 1989 classic flap. This is in the medium size. I think it's in the medium size, could be the small size. It's got this is what I loved. Back then, you could get the 24 karat gold plated hardware, and weirdly, it doesn't rub off. You know, sometimes on these newer pieces, the gold rubs off around the edges, but on the originals, I've got a few original pieces, and it's very hard wearing actually. But this bag was so much cheaper, and look, you're getting the same thing on the inside. You've got that pocket there for your lipstick to go in. You've got the little zippy bit up here for your love letters. It's the same bag, it's just of a different era, and you can get really good vintage pieces that will cost you a lot less. Okay, so you might be thinking like, okay, how can I get this bag? And I do or I don't want vintage, but how can I get it for less? This is a really good example here. I've got a few examples I'm going to share with you. This is a Maxi. So the Maxi is actually quite big. It's bigger than this, which is the jumbo. This bag is £5,950, which is a very good price for that bag, particularly considering the size. If you just want like a medium or a jumbo, you're looking at around about £4,000, £6,000. it's still a lot, but it's nowhere near the current price of these actual bags. So here we've got a really good example. I really like this bag actually. It's a very clean bag. This is lambskin, £4,990. There is also another one if you prefer Caviar. This one is £5,400. Both of these are from Luxury Promise. Luxury Promise are like a designer pre-loved company where you can buy like new, nearly new or used pieces, and I really trust their authentication process. I find them really good. I've bought and sold through them actually. But also my best buy of this whole video, it is a vintage piece, but it is this. This is £1,900, and I think that if I was going to buy anything, if I was you watching this video and I was going to buy anything, I would skip buying brand new because it's not worth it. I know it's nice to have the boutique experience and everything, but do you really want to pay thousands of pounds to get a boutique experience? Maybe you do. But I would personally skip that and do what I've been doing, which is to buy pre-loved. And this bag, the bag I'm showing you here, this is definitely my number one. If I was going to buy anything, if I was you and I was going to buy anything, I would actually probably buy this. I think this is a really good price, and it's nice. It's got the logo on there. It's just a really nice bag. And if you didn't need more reason to go for vintage, I don't want to keep pushing vintage, but I'm pushing vintage. If you didn't want even more reasons, I'm going to show you a modern day, this is a mini rectangle that I got in 2021, and I'm going to show you the state of the lambskin on this because it's in a shocking condition. Literally because it's been in the cupboard with the chain resting on the top. Be really careful. I thought I could fix up this bag with like the hairdryer technique. If you have dents in leather, you can warm it with a hairdryer and just massage it with your hand. Hasn't actually worked. So let me come in closer and show you. As you can you see how dented it is along here? And that is literally where it's been in the cupboard for a few months, and it's had the chain, its own chain handle has rested against the top of it, and I can't get that out. And also if I flip you round and show you the reverse, can you see here there is a rippling effect? This is literally from the bag opening and closing. Like if I open the bag and show you, can you see how it ripples and creates these wrinkles? You keep doing that, you keep opening and closing the bag, they get really bad really quick and they don't really go away. But you compare that to some of the vintage lambskin. The vintage lambskin is A1, and I know that this bag is like a little bit battered, it's a bit squished in, but you can, the price I paid is reflective of the condition of this bag. You can get some nearly new versions of the old 80s, 90s bags that look really good condition, and you're going to save yourself an absolute packet instead of buying the new versions from the boutique. But let's talk about costume jewellery before we move on to ready to wear and shoes. Is costume jewellery worth you buying? Yes and no. I think if I was on a budget, I would go for the bag and leave it at that. Don't get swayed by small leather goods, wallets, pouches, purses. Don't get swayed by it because they wear really badly after a while. And for the money that you're going to spend on a wallet, which now is over £600, depending on the wallet, but you're looking at really over £600, that's £600 you can put into a handbag. I mean, look at that bag that was what, £4,990. You put £600 into that, that's money going in the right direction. You don't need a card holder. But when it comes to costume jewellery, there are a few things that I do and don't recommend. I think that a pair of earrings is a really nice way of accompanying your handbag. I really do like Chanel earrings, although I don't like their earrings that have got stones and pearls in them because the stones and the pearls fall out. So pieces like this brooch, I would recommend against this because the stones and the pearls are glued in and they do tend to fall out. But I would recommend something like this, which is a brooch. It is one solid piece of metal. There is nothing that can go wrong with it, and this I would definitely recommend. So brooches are another really good way that you can add to your look. You can add a logo at a lower cost, even though the brooches are getting really expensive now. But guys, like I'm saying with all of this, I would be looking pre-loved for Chanel brooches, for Chanel anything. I'd be looking pre-loved before I went running to the boutique. The only exception to that is footwear, which we're going to come on to, which I would always buy new. But all the rest of it, including the bags, no. Like, you can get them pre-loved. I'm going to show you a necklace that I have here, which is a favourite of mine, actually, and I haven't worn it in a while. And this is the packaging that it comes in. So it's like a velvet pouch, and you open this out. Oh my God, for a minute, I thought it was not in there. This is a necklace that I purchased several years ago. And how does it go? It goes like this. I'll come in closer and show you. So this is the necklace. I think I bought this, you know, back in 2019 or something, to that degree. And it's very over the top. There is one thing I will say about it, which I shouldn't have done. I bought it and it does have little crystals glued in. I'm hoping you can see them sort of sparkling a bit there. But it's a very nice necklace. I love how it looks. You can wear it sort of lower down or more as a choker, and I think it's pretty cool. It looks really nice with a blazer. And another that I have, which is, I think, probably more of a favourite than that, actually, and it's this one solid piece of metal that's got the double C's on it here, and it's a choker, and it opens like this so that you can wear it. And if I just show you now, that is how it looks. It's just cute. There's just something about it I quite like. So costume jewellery, you can skip it. You know, it's good, it's nice to have. It's a nice to have, but put your money towards the bag. But if you are going to get costume jewellery, earrings, yes, but get solid, like enamel or metal, nothing with pearls, nothing with crystals. Brooches, yes, but the same thing goes. Don't get anything with crystals or with anything that can fall out of them. Same with necklaces. I think if you're going to go for a necklace, brooch or earrings, go for the brooch or the earrings over the necklace. The necklaces can get really expensive. Like, some of these necklaces are thousands of pounds, and if I was on a budget and I was only going to one thing, it wouldn't be for a necklace, but it probably would be for a brooch or for some earrings. Now moving on to ready to wear. Ready to wear you can pass on as well. But if you don't want to pass on ready to wear, and the reason why I say you can pass on it is because some brands such as Zara copy Chanel a lot. So again, if you're on a budget and if you want the bag and you want the Chanel look, chances are you can probably find a blazer in Zara that's going to look very Chanel, and you wear it with your Chanel bag and no one's going to be none the wiser. I have a couple of pieces of ready to wear from Chanel which I really love, and I've got a couple of jackets, I've got some trousers, I've got a dress, I've got some jumpers, I've got a few things that I really love. But again, put the money towards the bag. And then finally, I want to talk about footwear, whether it's worth it. I think something like this, these are just some plain Chanel ballet flats, and these do look very elegant, particularly in the summer when you just want like a more casual look. You put these with your classic flap, it's a look, it's a vibe, it looks great. You can pick these up very cheap pre-loved, because shoes typically go for like no money pre-loved, so you can buy them. The question is, do you want to? Do you want to buy used shoes? That's a question for yourself. If you were to buy these, they're around about £800 now, so quite a lot of money. Again, money I'd rather put into the bag, but presuming you've already got the bag at this point, I think go for these, they're definitely worth it. Or another option are Chanel sneakers. This is just a pair that I've grabbed from my dressing room, but these have got the double C's on the side there, and they're really nice actually. They're grey and pink tweed. So with Chanel sneakers, I personally really rate them. I find them very comfortable. For me, I wear them more than the ballet flats. And I think I wear them more because I'm just a sneaker person. When I go out in the day, unless I'm going to like a meeting or something where I need to be a little bit more smart, I always reach for sneakers over ballet flats. So I think if you're going to get one or the other, pick whichever you think you're actually going to wear the most, not whichever you think you want. Does that make sense? So you might, like for example, these Mary Jane flats I love right now. They are, what are they, £970. I love them, but with the best will in the world, I probably wouldn't wear them that much because I don't really wear my ballet flats that much, but I do wear my sneakers all the time. So I would say skip heels. Unless you go to a lot of events, unless you're someone who wears heels a lot and you know you're going to get a lot of wear out of them, if you're only going to pick them up for an event or a party or like for every once in a while, I would say skip them and go for some flats instead. So in summary, do I think that it is worth buying Chanel brand new? I think that there are pros and cons to it. I think the pro is when you buy brand new, you obviously know you're getting the real thing. No one else has used it. It's in, well, you hope, pristine condition, although you do hear horror stories. And of course you get the boutique experience. But I think if you're on more of a budget, or if you just don't want to spend the exorbitant price tag now, consider pre-loved or consider vintage, and the two things are different. So pre-loved could be like newer stuff. Someone's bought it like a year ago and they don't want it anymore. And vintage is stuff that I think from memory is older than 20 years, makes something vintage. Was it 10 years or 20? I can't remember, it's one of the two. But the two things are different. So don't think when you buy secondhand that you're going to get something dusty and musty and that smells. You can actually get things that are pretty much new that someone bought and just doesn't want anymore. So I would be going pre-loved. When it comes to small leather goods, skip it, you don't need it. That's money you can put into the bag or into a pair of shoes or into like a jacket or whatever it is that you're after. But I would definitely say aim for the bag, everything else can wait. If you're going to go for jewellery, get solid pieces where they can't break. Chanel will fix pieces of jewellery that have had stones or pearls that have fallen out of them. But last time I did it, it gets sent off to Paris and you've got to wait like several weeks to get it back, only for it to happen again, and then you're back there again. So I would say avoid that headache by avoiding pearls and crystals. Anyway, let me know what you think. Have you bought your bag? Did you get it at the boutique? Did you not? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.